how to learn English grammar in English, because this way you can practice your listening while you're learning something about how to learn, which is a very important skill. I believe that the first thing you have to do is analyze why you are studying the language. Sometimes you don't need to learn so much grammar. You just need to speak more, you need to learn more words and know basic structures. The second thing you need to analyze is how do you learn better. Some people just memorize some structures and they don't need to understand how it works. They just apply the knowledge that they got from some kind of pattern that they themselves have recognized. Some people need to learn the rules and then apply the rules that they got somewhere, and then they recognize the patterns along the way when they watch something, when they read something. And some people, they don't think about the rules at all. They are just intuitive. And this is usually about the people who studied the language in the very childhood and then they forgot it. Then maybe some people who moved to another country and they listened to the language so much that they actually didn't need to study before they started speaking. So they listen, and then they started speaking, and it naturally happens. Sometimes it happens as well in adults as well as in the kids. But here, I don't want to talk more about the other things you need to analyze, because these are the two main criteria, two main points. But how you can make the process of learning grammar better and easier for yourself if you decided to do so is you then see which points are weak and which are strong for you. So for example, you know that it's really hard for you to talk about the past, then you need to focus on the past. If you know that even when you tell people what to do, they don't understand you, then you're on the basics and it's imperative. So what you do, you find a test that shows exactly which topics you need to work on. Either you take a test in the Murphy book, this one, or find a website that has all the skills that you need for a certain level, like for example A1 grammar topics, and then you just take, if you know this topic and you know it for sure because you've studied grammar somewhere, or you kind of understand that you probably know it, you take it, and then the things that you don't know, you look up the grammar for. And then you can study this, or you can see, oh no, I know it, I just didn't know the name. And then you also tick it, you skip it. So basically you see your weak points for the certain level. If you know that you're A2, you find the list for A2. If you know that you're like C1, you can find the list for C1 or C2 and see where you need to work towards. Like, it's some kind of roadmap for you. I do it sometimes and I think it really does help. Another way you can analyze what you need to study, so not how but what, you can ask somebody to listen to you. All the teachers, good teachers, tutors online, they usually have some kind of like spoken criteria that they can like listen for and see what level you're at and what your weak points are. How they do it, for example, I ask people, have you ever been to blah blah blah, or have you ever done this? And if they can't answer, or if they say have, why did you start a sentence like that? I don't understand. Then I know that this is their weak point and this is what they need to work on. Or if I say, for example, how are you? And the person answers, but then I say, how old are you? And they're like, sometimes it's not the matter of grammar, but the matter of like lexical standpoint. Yeah, you need to learn more words and phrases. And about that I will talk in another video. But sometimes it's the question of the usage of the verb are, and so then of the verb to be. And then I just ask more questions. So for example, I say, where are you now? Or what is there on your table? Because the verb to be and the construction there is, there are, they kind of go hand in hand, and if one doesn't know this construction, then they probably don't know the verb to be as well. in the way that they can use it very confidently. So sometimes you can even analyze some grammar points, and if the student or like you yourself don't know, for example, 2 topics from A1, you just take any grammar book that is like specifically prepared for A1 and you go through it, and that's it. That's the easiest way. And you can, for example, skip partially the topics that seem easy to you, but you can also go through everything. If you have started studying the language many times, then probably, yeah, the first way that I've shown you is better, when you identify the topics, the exact topics that you need to work on. But if you, for example, if you already like have tried different ways, you've tried with teachers, you've tried with the books, you've tried with courses, you probably learned the first topic so much that you don't want to go through them again, because you will get bored and you will leave the studies where you left them the last time, or even like before that point. So you either need to skip to the next part and just like see what you have already done, even if you don't remember, and just skip it. Forget about it, you will remember it later. Or you choose only the topics that you want to learn, and that's it. It works even with the books that are like tailored for you to learn like one unit after another. Sometimes you can go to unit 9, then unit 3, then unit 5, and you will learn so much because the words still kind of repeat. The last units usually are a little bit more difficult, but it doesn't matter as much within one level, so go ahead. And another thing that I want to say is you can't learn grammar if you only like use the books or do the exercises. You need to speak, and this is the most important thing. You can even come to some like people and tell them this is the topic that I need. If it's a tutor, you give them the topic, they find the exercises for speaking and they speak with you, or they come up with exercises and they speak to you. If it's just a speaking partner or a friend, you tell them, so this is the sentence that I learned. So like not the grammar structure, but like this is the thing. Can you talk to me about similar things? And you give them several sentences. For example, if it's conditionals, you've learned conditionals. You don't tell them, well, this is the first conditional. You just tell them, I learned if I go there, I will get the, if you do this, I will call you, da da da. So you like show them 5 sentences like that and say, see, they're the same. I need to talk, something like that. Like I need to use this structure to get used to it, yeah? And they try to ask you questions so that you talk about this. Sometimes you can mix several topics, but you need to use your grammar in speaking. This is like super important. If you want to understand it, then you need to read a lot or watch a lot, listen a lot, and like try to focus on the things that you learned. If you learned the past tense, for example, you just like listen to the video and then somebody says, did you go there? And you're like, oh, this is the question in the past. And they say, yeah, I ate an ice cream. And you say, oh, okay, so this is ate. This is the second form of the verb eat. So you might not remember exactly what it is, but if you can identify the past tense or whatever you've been learning, then it's good. And you can write down some more points. For example, if you have like a sheet of paper that you have some verbs written on, you can add more. Or if you have some phrases, you can add more. I particularly like to do it with present perfect, because then you have the list of phrases that you can use, because present perfect is usually used in the same situations as well as a lot of other grammar points, grammar things, sentences, structures. They used in the same settings. So you gotta just like have a list of the ways that people use them, and you heard it, and you can do the same, because you cannot like intuitively you will get there, but you cannot right away know all the instances where something has to be used. You need to hear it and then you do the same. Then you read it, you do the same. You get it? So basically you need to experience it in order to use it properly. Yeah, so this is all I wanted to say for today. I wish you good luck with your grammar. I hope this video helped. I hope you understood me and the context of the video and the content. I will make more videos. Let me know if you want to hear me speak Russian and explain things to you in Russian, or English is fine and you find it better. Thanks. Bye-bye.